waters. Lots of questions that the fishermen have and really don't have much answers to.
There could be a mild winter and we could see a octopus bloom continuing.
Do we actually physically change our fishery from a crab fishery to an octopus fishery? Is this something we should target? You know, do we change our gear? Do we change the way we work? So it's really uncertain times, whichever way we look at it.
His catch ends up here in Brixham. It's a mixed picture. Some fishers have been able to catch and land high numbers of octopus, and they've made a good profit.
Yeah, that's our resident octopus, which, as you can see, it's a lot smaller than the Mediterranean octopus. And this one definitely isn't as good cooking as what this one is.
What does this mean for consumers?
If the fishermen are not catching so much crab and scallops or sort of other crustaceans because our friends are eating them, the price of that goes up. The crab, the lobster, the scallops, you know, that luxury goes up again.
But with shellfish stocks devastated, some businesses have left the industry, ending generations of working on the sea. There are fears more could be left dead in the water because of a warming climate. Jenny Kumar, BBC News, South Devon.
Well, joining me now is Nova Mieszkowska, a marine biologist and Marine Biological Association. Thank you very much for coming on the programme. Just talk us through then these numbers. It seems quite a big old jump.
Yes, there does seem to have been a huge increase in the abundance of Octopus vulgaris in our waters in the southwest this year.
And just talk us through your reaction to that, some of the explanations.
Yes, I think that, as was said earlier, it's not the first time this has ever happened. Again, back in the 1950s, there was a massive octopus bloom as well. It may be that the changing climate is partially responsible, but the way that we see climate change impacting the distribution of species tends not to work like this. Usually what happens is species tend to gradually spread their distributions to higher latitudes and increase in numbers steadily over the years, rather than just having these huge population blooms suddenly in one year. So my thinking is there may be something to do with climate, but I'm sure there's an awful lot of other environmental variables that are probably driving this as well.
Okay, interesting. Let's just talk about what impact this has then, the kind of knock-on effects. We all know everything is a system. What are the potential other impacts to the environment, other animals that you're looking out for?
Well, I think we've already heard just before as well that because the octopus prefers things like crabs and lobster, they've been decimating the catch of the local fisheries recently. So there is knock-on effects not only for the ecosystem but also for industry as well, I think, which is very, very interesting to see how this will pan out if the octopus bloom continues.
So yeah, what do you do in these circumstances? I suppose as a kind of point of moral principle almost, do you try and intervene? Do you try and correct back, or do you kind of let nature take its course? What's the kind of options?
Well, I think that one of the options is to maybe look at permits for fishing octopus while there's this bloom in place. At least that way then the fishermen may be able to get some financial recompense for not being able to catch the shellfish. But also, if we look at the times that this has happened in the past, it hasn't lasted for a huge amount of time. So it may well be just to see whether numbers gradually decline next year, and also then try and work out, if not, what to do about that.
And just going forward, when you have numbers like this, when you have events like this, what do you make of the attention and the awareness that's raised? Is there an example to to engage people and get people kind of concerned and noticing the changes?
Yes, I think that's a really, really good point you've just made. So my colleague at the Marine Biological Association, Dr. Bryce Stewart, has been doing research into both public awareness, the opinions and sightings of local fishing communities and scuba divers as well. So it's all about engaging people that are involved in the events and in the local community, but also then there's this knowledge exchange and raising awareness as well. So you gain information from the people that are seeing these things on a regular basis, but then you're also able to impart information back to them about why this may have happened and how this is probably not a long-term change. It may just well be one of those stochastic events that happens.
And just lastly, before I let you go, away from octopuses, across the seas around our coastline. What else is interesting you at the moment? What should we be kind of keeping an eye out for?
Well, see, I study rocky intertidal species and how they're all responding to climate change. And this is why we see that species don't suddenly just have this boom and bust effect. Many species that prefer warmer waters are moving to higher latitudes in the UK and extending their leading range limits. Some of the native colder water species are not doing so well, and they're retracting their limits. And we're seeing this large shift in community structure all the way around the UK. And I think, again, this is why it's important that we monitor things over long time periods regularly, which means that we can then put these incidences like the octopus bloom into context and know how many times they've happened. And then we're more likely to be able to predict accurately when they'll happen in the future. And I think public engagement is a really, really important part of this.
Okay, Nova, really appreciate you coming on and talking us all the way through that. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.